Okay, so this is an example of what you will receive if you take part in this analysis. This is just an example of an athlete who goes through the critical speed analysis, the run analysis. So the coach will work with you to get the testing done. They'll help you outline a protocol. In this particular case, it was 400-meter test, 800-meter test, and a 2-mile test. You'll record the times, and then the coach will do a little bit of analysis on those times to help determine what critical speed is, okay, and your anaerobic capacity. Then, from that information, the coach will deliver to you a set of training zones, or training zones: a recovery zone, steady state zone, tempo zone, threshold zone, VO2 max broken up into slow component and more higher component, and then anaerobic capacity, and then the physiological considerations of that testing. So what does that testing mean about the larger training approach that you as an athlete should be taking based upon that testing? Not forever, but for the time frame that is defined by that testing. Typically speaking, the using the testing as a start point and going through and applying a certain training stimulus, which this is about, for a period of 5 to 8 weeks, typically most often 6 weeks, and then retesting and choosing which training stimulus is most appropriate based upon new testing. So the coach runs through a bit of an analysis to give you physiological considerations around your test results. In this particular case, the athlete's critical speed occurs at about 87% of their speed at VO2 max. This suggests that their run physiology is in a balanced state. So their attic space, their physiological attic, is kind of like is at an ideal size. And so in that particular case, the athlete has two choices to make. They should either enter into a base durability block or a specificity block. And if you are in this particular example, if you're an athlete who is going to be more limited by race specific durability, then a base durability block is the better option. And it helps to define what those training intensities might be for that, say, 5 to 8 week period. Or if you are an athlete whose primary limiter is going to be race execution, okay, for that race distance, then you may want to enter into a specificity block of training. And this helps to define what the training intensities might be dependent upon the race that you would be doing. So and that's the coach would deliver that analysis as well as the remaining kind of glossary terms within this document. But each test result will come with this kind of analysis tool delivered to you, the athlete.